It could be treated with the right care. I was relieved.
I was happy.
I was given a second chance.
Urology Specialists of Ohio offers men peace of mind. 5 physicians and 5 locations. Now accepting new patients. Make an appointment with a physician that cares about your health and prevention. Urology Specialists of Ohio, Beaver Creek, Springfield, Urbana, Xenia, and London. Online at urologyspecialistsofohio.com.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
To the game on the ESPN app. We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. We are off and rolling here today on a Thursday, and we got a brand new look on the show, of course, so I feel pretty good about the new layout of the show. Mr. Kev Nash, happy Thursday.
What up, though?
I'm excited for today's show. We got a lot to dive into. We're going to do a little thumbs up, thumbs down coming up. Talk a little OBJ around the corner. I thought OBJ was the greatest wide receiver ever. I thought that teams would be lining up to get old Mr. OBJ. The ACC Commissioner wants to expand March Madness. 68 teams just isn't enough for the big dance every single March, and we're talking expansion of everything else. Why not March Madness? We'll talk about whether that's a good or bad idea coming up around the corner. And I think everyone was surprised to find out that the Dayton Flyers were picked to win the A10 this year. I thought they were going to be horrible. I thought they were going to be horrible this year. Now, to the surprise of no one, the Dayton Flyers announced today, of course, A10 Media Days over in Brooklyn. The Flyers are tabbed the preseason favorites to the surprise of nobody, and quite a few players racked up quite a few preseason awards, so we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But if you want to give us a call, do so at 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. But, Kev, I want to kick off the show with a little wrinkle kind of to a cap or no cap. Cap or no cap, of course, comes on Fridays. But today we'll go ahead and jump into the thumbs up or thumbs down. I'll throw out a scenario, and you tell me whether that's you give it a thumbs up or you give it a thumbs down. No middle finger emojis, of course, allowed. So here we are. All right, first, right off the bat, Kev, ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, he believes that it's time to look at the NCAA tournament model and discuss expansion of the 68-team field. Do you give that a thumbs up? Or do you give that a thumbs down? Oh, thumbs down. Okay, don't even get to finish. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Kev Nash gives that a
I'll
big
let
old
you
thumbs
finish.
down.
I'll let you finish the question.
No, you're totally good because in my head, I'm like thinking of other fingers to give this idea.
Thumbs down.
Big thumbs down as well, yes.
Big thumbs down. Look, man, we can't just keep expanding, and expect people to actually enjoy this stuff, man. We enjoy it because of the upsets and everything like that, but you keep expanding and we're just going to have mediocre teams playing, teams that don't deserve to be in the tournament. I know we have the first 4 here in Dayton, and we love it, and we are supported because we're a basketball town. But is a team that's in the first 4, do they really have a chance to win it all? Because those are the teams that are, the last ones on the cut line to actually even make the tournament. I don't think that we need to expand this thing anymore. I don't get the point of doing that.
Yeah, 68 teams. It's a random amount when you got 300 plus teams, and I completely get that. But my big thing is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What is wrong with the current model? I'm fine. Look, bottom line is this: I don't mind the college football playoff model. I like it at 4, but I understand where everyone else is coming from about more teams need to be involved. I think for the betterment of the playoff itself, more teams should be involved, more teams in it, bigger games, more intriguing storylines. I don't like the idea because it's at the expense of the regular season.
Right.
However, the playoff itself, I think there's holes you could fix when it comes to the college football playoff and football. As far as basketball, can you name me an issue with the current model? What's wrong with the current model? Like, I honestly think there's not a lot of things in life that I say are perfect. I think March Madness is perfect. I think the regular season, we can make adjustments to make the regular season more interesting or more entertaining, whether it be a scheduling model or a crossover, like an ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Yeah.
But we do that for mid-majors as well, and maybe kind of, equal the schedule that way. There's plenty of ideas there, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's not one thing. I can't think of one. And in the chat section, by the way, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Help us out on this. And for one, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you're just joining us, thumbs up, thumbs down at the moment. The ACC Commissioner at ACC Media Days, Jim Phillips, he believes that it's time to take a look at the current NCAA tournament model for March Madness, and he believes that we need to start having the discussion to expand the 68-team field. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Kev Nash, he didn't even wait for me to get the whole one out. Thumbs down. It's a thumbs down for me as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. March Madness is perfect, and I don't say that about a whole hell of a lot of things.
And another thing about it is the smaller conferences. You really think this is going to work out in your favor? No, they're going to continue to put those bubble teams in. So all your NC States, your Mississippi States, your Arizona States, those are the teams that are going to benefit from this. The right states of the world are not going to benefit from this. They're just going to continue to put those teams in like, well, they play in the big-time conference. You guys play in the mid-major. Even though you won 28 games, we're going to put in a team that only won 16 because they play in a big conference and a bigger media market and everything like that. Nah, I'm not with this. Just keep it the same.
Mark Smith, he gives that 2 thumbs down. Mark Smith he doesn't like that idea either. Ryan Strong says thumbs. He had to mix it up a bit. Instead of putting a thumbs down, he just typed out thumbs and then the pointer finger down. Thumbs down as well. John Sladens gives that a thumbs down. Steve Stetler gives it a bunch of thumbs down, and he ends it with, "Are you effing kidding?" He didn't actually, he just put an F and an N, but are you fun kidding is what he's asking. Yes.
So to play devil's advocate.
There is a devil's advocate.
Go for it then.
So William Yelly, he gives it 2 thumbs up. He goes, every year there's 2 or 3 teams who get hosed on the last 4 out. And he said also get rid of the 16 seed play-in.
I've always said that. I think the 16 seed should be in the regular field as opposed to playing in the first 4. I always thought the first 4 should be like a whole bunch of 8 seeds. So like a Syracuse playing Illinois or whomever, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that finished like 9 or 10 in their conference. All those teams should be playing in the first 4 because those are the last teams in. The teams that come from the lower mid majors that are 16 seeds, like your Yales or, FAMUs or whatever, they've earned the right to be in the big dance and to play against your Kentuckys and Dukes, not to play against another 16 seed. Let them be in the real tournament, quote unquote, and let the last 4 teams in play in the first 4, because then you get a whole bunch of power brand name schools playing in there that everybody knows. And I think that will do a lot of good for the first 4 right about now. But to play devil's advocate from my point of view, what is this going to do? What can it do for college basketball? Because I think college basketball is in a weird, funky spot right now with, NIL and the transfer portal, and they're about to make it eligible for high school kids to come straight out of high school to the pros. So college basketball is in a weird, funky time. So is this something that's going to spark the interest to the average fan again?
And that's going to be the thing too. So the other thing to keep in mind, and by the way, the play, like I don't like when people talk about the playing games as if that's not the NCAA tournament.
It is.
Wright State was in the play-in 16 versus 16 last year. They won in that 16 versus 16, and that was their first NCAA tournament win. If it's not the NCAA tournament, then how does Wright State have an NCAA tournament win? It's the NCAA tournament. So I think the format of that, I guess if we're going to nitpick the tournament, is the concept of it, to why are you having to play into a tournament you're already in?
Right.
But I've used the example of then, if that's the case, then the Guardians, what did they just win last week to get to the Yankees? The wild card. Why do you have to play a wild card round to get into the playoffs? Oh no, the wild card is the playoffs. That's what the 16 versus 16 is. You're right though. The 16 you get in because you won your conference tournament, you're a smaller conference. That's fine, but you're not out anything. If anything, it gives them an advantage. It gives them an opportunity to win. If Wright State just has to win their conference tournament, and then go right to getting beat by Arizona, and then their season's done. All right, cool, you're in the NCAA. But I don't think anyone at Wright State was disappointed about the 16 versus 16. It gave them a chance to get a tournament win, and they got that, and they did it at UD Arena.
Where they do it at again?
At UD Arena.
Oh, okay.
How about that? But no, that's why I'm like, I don't see the issue with it. I don't think it's hurting anything. If anything, it's giving those smaller schools an opportunity to get an NCAA tournament that maybe wouldn't have got it otherwise.
True.
They play an extra game, so be it.
Or they could do it like NBC and beat Virginia.
You want to play a lot of games. You want to play as many games as you can in the NCAA tournament. I don't mind it. But to your point, the 16s, they play in. They got that auto bid. You're already in.
Right.
How do you get an auto bid to a play-in game? That doesn't make sense. You're in the NCAA tournament. People need to stop wording it that way. But yes, the 11 seeds. They do that with the 11. The 11 seeds should play in or, whatever. So there you go. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yogi Berra. Okay, or Yogi Bear. I'm not really sure what this YouTube name
Baseball?
is. Yogi Bear. He goes, how many ACC teams run the big dance last year? Of course, he wants it bigger. I mean, that's always my big argument about the college football playoff. You know who's not calling for the expansion of the college football playoff? The Big Ten, the SEC, the conferences that have basically a representative there every year. It's always the ACC. Or it's always, the Big 12 or the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is the loudest about expanding the playoff. That's because that's been the most disappointing conference in all of college football. It's always the conference that's struggling to get as many teams in. The ACC is a good basketball conference, though. They just did have a down year last year for obvious reasons.
They had 2 teams in the Final Four.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they're too worried about it. All right, on to the next one. Thumbs up, thumbs down. OBJ still looking for a team. I don't understand how. I mean, my goodness, Odell Beckham Jr. I thought it was Jerry Rice last year. All of a sudden, he leaves Cleveland. He's Jerry Rice, right? When he was with the Cleveland Browns last year, he was their number one option, and he was probably the worst number one option in all of football. Then he goes to the Rams, and then people got confused because he goes to the Rams, and then he starts producing, but he starts producing at the level of what you would want from your number 3 wide receiver. If you look at the numbers outside of touchdowns, the targets were the same, and the yards were the same. OBJ was the same receiver in L.A. as he was Cleveland, whether you want to admit that or not. He just had more touchdowns in L.A. In Cleveland, though, those are horrible numbers to be the number 1 wide receiver in Cleveland. But those numbers he had in L.A., those are great numbers to have to be the number 3 option. Now, I guess, Kev, he told the Rams he wanted to stay in L.A. He wanted to be a Ram. The Rams didn't even call him. They didn't even make him an offer. In fact, not a lot of teams are calling. He's having to go to the media to try to put it out there that he's ready to sign, that he wants to sign with the team. No one's calling. So maybe, just maybe, I was right. Maybe, just maybe, Kev. At the end of the day, I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. was being held back in Cleveland. I think he played a huge role in the folding of that offense. Baker played a role. Obviously, Stefanski and the offense played a role, and OBJ played a humongous role. He's the only player I know that doesn't perform, and yet everyone else is the problem. That doesn't happen in sports, but he got the benefit of that doubt. Teams are telling you he's not this difference maker. If a team out there truly thought that he can come in and make them a non-contender into a contender, teams would be lining up to get him right now. But the bottom line is someone will sign him. The urgency's not there, and the urgency's not there because I don't think he's as much of a difference maker as what he thinks or Browns haters think because they think that he held him back when he held them back. But, Kev, OBJ still looking for a team. Some of the rumored teams, obviously the Rams could still jump in. Even the New York Giants could maybe jump in. But what about the AFC North? The Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Baltimore Ravens should look to bring OBJ in. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Definitely not the Steelers.
Well, I didn't say this too. I said AFC North technically. Yeah.
Definitely not the Cincinnati Bengals. I could see the Browns or Ravens as an option. One of the reasons I don't think teams are beating down his door is because he's coming off not 1 but 2 knee surgeries, 2 major knee surgeries, and he's about to turn 30 in about 2 weeks. So we all know how the NFL is. If you're damaged goods and you're over the age of 30, we'll find somebody that's an undrafted rookie and put him in that spot. He may not be as talented as you. He may not have a big as name as you, but it's worth it for us because he doesn't have 2 blown out knees. But I could see him definitely working with a team like the Cleveland Browns once a Deshaun Watson is back and working with the Baltimore Ravens as well. For him at this age and this stage of his career, he's not looking to be on a team that's on the up and coming or a team rebuilding. He's looking to go to the playoffs and potentially win a Super Bowl. So that's where I would see it for him. Like only teams out of the AFC North would be the Browns and the Ravens. And I mean, for the Cincinnati Bengals, how many wide receivers you need?
Yeah. Right now in Baltimore, and by the way, I'll give it a thumbs up as long as the expectations. OBJ coming in is not going to be your number one option. That's why I do believe that him going to Baltimore I would give that a thumbs down, although he wants to possibly play with Lamar. I don't know how much he helps the Baltimore Ravens offense. He couldn't hurt it. I get that, but OBJ is thinking he's going in to be the number one option somewhere. Amari Cooper is doing just fine. If OBJ is willing to go in and accept a third, to be that number 3 wide receiver, I think it works in Cleveland. I think he's the number 2 receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones is solid. I don't think he's better than Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I think possibly, maybe. Look, Deshaun Watson with OBJ, I think of all the quarterbacks in the AFC North, Deshaun Watson would get the most out of him in that Cleveland Browns offense. In Cincinnati, I don't think it hurts. I mean, he was in Cincinnati hanging out. Remember, you don't just go to Cincinnati to hang out and visit for the summer unless, they were at least kicking I think the Bengals are kicking the tires on it. Maybe just kind of getting the feels for it to see if whenever he's, comes off that injured list, if he's ready to go. I could potentially see him go there, but I think Cleveland makes sense. But ultimately, I think he ends up with the Giants. So I say a thumbs up that those teams should look at him. But do I think he'll go there? No, I think he potentially ends up back with the Giants, especially if the Giants are winning some football games. Don't be surprised, by the way, if Dallas somehow kind of sneaks into that conversation as well, especially now that they're back in the playoff picture. All of a sudden, they're going to look for some firepower, so we'll see.
What do you got against the great city of Cincinnati? I mean, I know you're not a Bengals fan, but you're a Reds fan, and you never had a good time in Cincinnati
No,
before?
actually, I love Cincinnati. What I mean is when you're Odell Beckham Jr. and you live in Los Angeles, who gets on a plane to go to Cincinnati just for the hell of it? That's my point. If he was if he was in Cincinnati and then flying to LA, no one's asking any questions. It's Los Angeles. That's what people do. People love to go to Los Angeles. No one loves to go to Cincinnati. I don't hate it in Cincinnati, but no one loves to go there.
What if he went to the Macy's Music Festival? Janet Jackson played down there this year.
Possibly. That wasn't it, though. So Yogi Bear, again, on YouTube says the only fit for him is Baltimore, and they don't even want to pay Lamar. Can we stop with that nonsense that they don't want to pay Lamar? How is a team that offered him $50 million a year, how is that, or $48 million or whatever it was, how is that, if an organization is offering you close to $50 million a year, how is that Baltimore not wanting to pay him? Lamar thinks he should get more, and that's fine. Go chase it. But we got to stop this narrative that Baltimore, that they're screwing this up, that they don't want to pay him. They offered him. They gave him a very, very nice contract. He turned it down. He has the right to do it. They have the right to not make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL because although he's very, very good, still deficiencies. The Baltimore Ravens are not the bad guy here. I'm not saying Lamar is. We got to stop this stupid mindset that the Ravens don't want Lamar Jackson. You don't offer someone $48 million a year if you don't want that person.
Yeah, they want him. They just want him at their price, but he wants his price. That's what negotiations are.
And his price is unreal. It's not realistic. Matt says it will either be the Rams or Bills that he signs with. Okay. Some guy says thumbs down. He should go back to the Giants. John Sladen says production is not worth the baggage and distractions. William says him going to Green Bay with Rodgers makes too much sense.
Rodgers.
And look, and you're right. It does make a lot of sense because OBJ can go to Green Bay and be the guy. If OBJ thinks that he is still the guy, I think going either to New York, obviously, or going to Green Bay makes a ton of sense. If he's accepting this role of, hey, I thrived in LA in the Super Bowl because I was not the number 1 or number 2 option there, maybe I should look to go to a place that I could be that third option. Buffalo, going to play alongside Stephon Diggs, too. Buffalo has, with their money situation is I don't know what they could do with that or what he's even asking for. But I think he was well on his way to winning a Super Bowl MVP last year. That's the crazy thing. Like,
he was balling.
Yeah, like the way he started. All right, thumbs up, thumbs down. On to the next one, Kev. Still no update on Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I think a lot of Buckeye fans have been patient, thinking that hey, let's just get to the bye week. Well, we're wrapping up the bye week. Have college football Saturday, and then we go right back to prepping for Ohio State, playing on next Saturday against Iowa.
Noon kickoff, obviously against Iowa. If Jackson Smith and Jigba does not play against Iowa, that means it's time to be really concerned. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs down. It's a hamstring. You don't want him to fully pull the hamstring or pop the hamstring off the bone, and then he's going to need surgery. It's not only the fact that you have to worry about him actually coming back to play for the Buckeyes, but he has to worry about his NFL future and being able to participate in the NFL combine and everything like that. So it's a juggling act. There's 2 things to worry about here: his future and winning a chip with the Buckeyes. So trying to balance those out.
After I'm going to give that a thumbs up. if you're just tuning in, look, Jackson Smith-Njigba, we've barely seen him at all this season. We were expecting a huge season from him. He's
two quarters.
He's played 2 quarters. But every week, we thought he had that rest game, and then he came back to Toledo right before Wisconsin, and then he doesn't play against Wisconsin, and we haven't seen him since. So the problem that I have with this is you're right. It's a hamstring injury. You don't want to rush him back, but a hamstring injury, it's not like that's 1 or 2 weeks away from it being completely healed. I think we should already be concerned. I think there's a good chance we probably don't see him at all. I don't think that's outside of the possibility options of us not seeing him at all. Jackson Smith-Njigba, if we don't see him back by Iowa, I'm going to be concerned because, again, it's all last week, this week with the bye week, and then the prep for Iowa. Again, in college, it's different. They don't have to put that information out there. So sometimes we're surprised, until the morning, or we're surprised in the morning of when they release that. But Buckeye fans, thumbs up, thumbs down. If Jackson Smith-Njigba does not play against Iowa a week from Saturday, it's time to start panicking a bit. Thumbs up, thumbs up. I give that a thumbs up. And the reason is Ohio State could win the Big Ten. They can win the Big Ten championship without Jackson Smith-Njigba. I believe they could beat Penn State and Michigan without Jackson Smith-Njigba. But when you start going up against more high-powered offenses like Alabama, or if you run into a Tennessee come playoff time, or you run into a Clemson, you're going to need to be as full-powered offensively as you need to be. And I don't think they can win a championship without Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think they can get to the playoff without him, but they need all their heavy hitters come championship time if that's the case. So, yes, I'm already a little concerned. I give that a big thumbs up, Kev.
Yeah, I want my dude to be fully healthy. I want him to be fully ready to go when it's time to go. And to be perfectly honest, you don't need him right now. You might need him against Penn State. Probably you'll need him against that team up north. You'll definitely need him for the playoff. If he's not ready to go, let's not push the issue. And even get him out there for a couple snaps. Let's just say, all right, they got him on a snap count. Would you still be worried then? You just want to see him on the field.
See him on the field just to know he's progressing towards getting on the field. But even the snap count, there's still, if he's on a snap count, that means he's not healthy and ready to go. My thing is, I'm already panicked. This thing's not going away. The hamstring injury is not going away. I don't see him making a major contribution this year. That's not me being negative. I'm just hamstring issues. That doesn't go away, at least not in a timely sense of you let it heal for a couple weeks, then you start straining it again because you're out there trying to be explosive. I'm concerned. I don't think he's going to be a major player for the Buckeyes the rest of the season. That's my concern.
It's October, college football playoff in 2 months. He'll be ready in 2 months.
We'll see. It's already been 2 months. 2 months into the season. My goodness. Some guy on Facebook says, thumbs up for all the reasons you said. You want a 300-yard game wide receiver for a title chase. William on Facebook says Marvin Harrison Jr. is better. By the way, I don't think that's that hot of a take, and that's not a shot at Jackson Smith-Njigba. We saw Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, 2 guys last year who the big argument was who was better, and it didn't really matter. Both of those guys played pivotal roles in the success of that offense. I don't think it's a hot take to say Marvin Harrison Jr. is better. I think he's a better route runner for sure, but both are big-time playmakers. But both of them together, they're unstoppable. On the field together at the same time, they're unstoppable. I think that's one reason to panic not having him. Yeah, Shaw says thumbs down, by the way, so you and him agree. You guys are basically the same.
Buddies. We're buddies outside of him, like in Michigan. The thing about Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's a slot receiver. He works across the middle of the field, and Harrison Jr. and Buka, they work on the outside. So that's the dynamic trio that we've been dying to see that we haven't been able to see. I think as fans, we just want to see them all on the field together because we're thinking look, we're putting up 50 in the first half. What are we going to do when we get all our weapons back? Because we haven't had to have all our weapons on the field at the same time because of injuries and concussions. I mean, Mayan Williams in and out the lineup, Henderson in and out the lineup. We have not had that full stable of weapons there for the Buckeyes. And I just think we're so anxious to see it all happen right now because we know, look, man, we're leading the country in scoring. What we're going to do when we get all these guys out there? I'm being patient. I'm being chill because when we need them the most, I think they'll be there for us. And bring us that chip, baby. Bring us that chip.
So Matt is correct on YouTube, by the way. Ryan Day on the Ryan Day Show today, on which you can catch every Thursday at noon, 1410 ESPN Radio. Ryan Day did say today that that we should expect to see most of the players who are currently injured, including running back Mayan Williams and wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. He expects them to be back against Iowa. And again, look, that he's telling you something you want to hear, so you're going to believe it. But the bottom line is, I never believe anything a coach says because everything. They said the same thing about Wisconsin. They said the same thing about Wisconsin, and it didn't happen. And I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad at Ryan Day. Ryan Day, the thing about college, Kev, is you don't have to put these reports out there. So you could feed vague statements like this to the media, because now that's throwing Iowa off on how they're prepping of which receivers and which offense to start preparing for. Because is it going to be a Trevion Henderson and a Marvin Harrison Jr. led offense, or is it going to be a Mayan Williams and a Jackson Smith and Jigba led offense, or is it going to be Mayan Williams, Trevion Henderson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, Stover, and the whole freaking cast? So I think Ryan Day has to put that out there, because just kind of let them wonder, let them sit. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying I'll believe it when I see it. But hamstring injuries are no joke. Like, that's not something you put ice on and heal for the night and then you feel better in a week or two. We'll see what ends up happening. All right, that has been our thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll continue to get your reaction on the other side. 518-1410. Jump in on the conversation, on any of the conversations that we just had. Give us a call. Kev Nash officially has those phone lines open. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be partly cloudy, a high near 60. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy with a slight...
Protection. Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Ohio's educators make a difference in their students' lives every day. From classroom teachers to para-educators, professors, bus drivers, school secretaries, custodians, and more. These are the people who have dedicated their lives to serving our kids and making our public schools great. And we want to say thank you. Join the Ohio Education Association in recognizing an education champion in your community. Go to ohea.org/education champions to submit your nomination now.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, recipient of Honda's President's Award. When your vehicle needs service, we make it convenient. Open 6 days a week, including all day Saturday. We also welcome same-day appointments and walk-ins as well. Our technicians are factory trained, and we offer a new state-of-the-art facility, clean waiting rooms, loaner cars, and free alignment checks as well. Ask for the $99.95 alignment special. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds. Browse the largest display of hot tubs and swim spas in the region from 5 major brands at up to 50% off. That's this weekend at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds in Dayton. Visit hottuboh.com or call 800-SPA-SALE.
Fall into a new career. KTH Parts Industries has immediate openings, second shift production associates, and equipment technicians. Material handling experience is a plus. This is an excellent new opportunity that offers an attractive benefit package, medical, dental, 401k, attendance bonus, and a competitive wage, starting at $19.75 per hour with annual increases. KTH is hosting open interviews Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Visit kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, an oil change with full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advance can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $36.99. Find your solution for better fuel efficiency today at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy inherited properties, vacant homes, rentals, commercial properties, and apartment buildings. Give us a call today and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Give us a call, 518-1410, 518-1410. WWE Live will be here at the Nutter, or here in Dayton at the Nutter Center on October 22nd, a week from this Saturday. And we'll have tickets that will be given away starting next week. So make sure you keep it locked in here to the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash starting Monday. We'll have an opportunity for you to win tickets to see Ronda Rousey and some of the other top WWE stars at the Nutter Center coming up 7:30 p.m. on October 22nd. We'll have a WWE star on the show next week, Kevin Owens. So we have all that coming up for you here in the next week. I'll also have an opportunity for you to win $2,000 coming up around the corner. Every day I'm giving away $2,000 of Kinner's cash. All you got to do is be listening for that winning word, and I'll have that winning word coming up for you here in just about 10 minutes. 3:45 will drop that winning word for you. Kev will be back with us coming up here in just a moment, but during our thumbs up, thumbs down segment, we were, of course, talking about Ohio State and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Today on the Ryan Day Coaches Show, he had talked about the health of Ohio State improving and how dramatic and how dramatically important that is for the Buckeyes throughout this bye week. Obviously wanting to stay fresh and stay focused, but obviously using this downtime to heal up a bit. And that's exactly what Ohio State has had the opportunity to do. He talked about a lot of the big names on that injured list, some of the main guys who did not even play in last week's game, of course, in their big win that they had, of course, blowing out their opponent. But they got Iowa coming up. And look, Iowa, as I said yesterday, and Kev can come back and defend himself shortly. Iowa's a trap game. Iowa's in a very, very important game. And it's not because it's Iowa and it's not because it's a trap game. It's because it's going to be the first game of the second half of the season for the Buckeyes coming out of the bye week. And it's going to be an opportunity to see if some of the guys that have missed significant time in the first half of the season are going to come back. And I'm not saying that if they don't play against Iowa that there's no chance that they come back, but getting Mayan Williams back. Ryan Day on his show today said they'll get Mayan Williams back, or they're expected to get Mayan Williams back to pair back up, of course, with TreVeyon Henderson. I don't think there's a team out there that has a better running back room than Ohio State. Texas has a very good running back. Of course, Utah has a very good run game. Don't get me wrong. But as far as the Buckeyes, there's not a team out there that comes close to having the depth that Ohio State does in their run game. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba is another guy that I'll be keeping an eye on. Now, he did say that he expects both of them back, but I've also heard Ryan Day say that a few other times throughout the season, and we've only seen Jackson Smith-Njigba out on the field for 2 whole quarters. The Buckeyes are 5-0. I sit back right now and I'm looking at this from afar, and I'm like, well, you could beat the Iowas, you could beat Penn State, you could beat Michigan, you could beat Maryland, you could beat these Big Ten teams without Jackson Smith-Njigba. You could beat them without Mayan Williams, or you could beat them without Marvin Harrison Jr., and you could beat them without TreVeyon Henderson. What you can't do is beat Alabama without Jackson Smith-Njigba. What you can't do is beat the best teams in college football who have equally as explosive offenses as Ohio State, and maybe not weapon for weapon, but Ohio State's defense, let me be clear. I love the job that Jim Knowles has done, but if you guys think that Ohio State's defense is top notch, that you think there's no deficiencies in there, that you think that there's no flaws, I think you're mistaken. The problem with the Big Ten is that when it comes time to getting to the college football playoff, there is not a team in the Big Ten that can really replicate what you're going to see against an Alabama, against a Georgia, or against even a Clemson. And I think I'm giving Clemson a little bit too much credit. I think Tennessee's an offense that I would fear if I'm Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State's defense is as buttoned up as what we think it is. I think it's easier to look buttoned up against an Arkansas State and a Toledo and a very bad Wisconsin team and a very bad Iowa offense coming up. I mean, Ohio State's going to smother Iowa coming up a week from Saturday, and we're going to say, man, just look how much better this defense is. Now, it is drastically better than it was a year ago. These are bad teams that would have still moved the ball in Ohio State's defense a year ago. But again, we're not talking about that. We're talking about teams come college football playoff time, like just when we think our defense is top notch and just when we think we have everything buttoned up, then all of a sudden you play a real football team and you get punched in the mouth. That's what I'm concerned about. So for the Buckeyes to go punch for punch with these top offensive teams in the country, which they do not have in the Big Ten, now all of a sudden I'm a little concerned about these injury bugs. Now I'm concerned about no Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm concerned if they head into the college football playoff without Mayan Williams or TreVeyon Henderson. Oh, but Kenner, relax. They're just coming out of the bye week. They're 5-0. They're fine. There's plenty of time. I get that there's plenty of time. I'm not really worried about Mayan Williams. Got a little banged up. He's back. Cool. Jackson Smith-Njigba was the problem. That's the guy right there that I'm most concerned about. They need Jackson Smith-Njigba to win a national championship. Ohio State, I don't care what anybody says, the Ohio State Buckeyes will not win a national championship without Jackson Smith-Njigba on that field. They could win one without Mayan Williams and just TreVeyon Henderson, or they could win one with just Mayan Williams and no TreVeyon Henderson, whatever. They cannot win a national championship, in my opinion, without Jackson Smith-Njigba. You may disagree. That's fine. That's your opinion. But to go up against those top offenses in the country who have better defenses to balance it out, I'm worried about that. That's why I think this Iowa game is so important. Now, the one thing I found interesting, Brandon Kelty brought this up on YouTube. I think it's a very good point. He brings up the, he said the thumbs down. So in our previous segment, we did the thumbs up, thumbs down. Should we be concerned if we get to Iowa and there's no Jackson Smith-Njigba? He goes, I think a few more weeks out and back in the playoffs, like Kev said, he goes, it's bad for him, but his draft stock is falling, so he is more likely to come back and boost it back up. On the a silver lining, I guess, is that this may get us another season of Jackson Smith-Njigba, possibly. I don't think that's a bad mindset to have, Brandon. I think, though, we'll take a national championship this year over getting an extra year of Jackson Smith-Njigba. But you are not wrong. I do think that if this injury bug continues to hinder him the rest of the way, how much will that impact his draft status? We'll find that out. But we also, I think that is something to keep an eye on. But I am concerned. Shaw says, yes, you can. The Buckeyes can win a national championship. Okay, Shaw. Thanks for explaining yourself. Just, yes, you can. Okay. Again, explosive offenses. Look, they can win the Big Ten. They can get to the playoff without Jackson Smith-Njigba. They're not winning a national championship without him. Jeff McFerrin says, I'd leave Jackson Smith-Njigba out versus Iowa, play him versus Penn State. The debate here begins again, like we had this argument a few weeks ago in the Toledo game. It's Toledo. Why don't you just continue to rest these guys that are banged up against Toledo, because we have the important one under the lights against Wisconsin the following week? And that's kind of what this Iowa matchup kind of presents. Oh, it's just Iowa. Who cares about Iowa? There's no sense in throwing Jackson Smith-Njigba out there against Iowa and risking hurting him against Iowa when we could really use him against Penn State. I understand that mindset, Jeff, by all means. But at the same time, I'm resting him against Iowa because he's not 100% in this hamstring issue. It's going to bother him whether he plays against Iowa or whether he plays against Penn State. I think, whenever you bring him back, I just don't think he's going to be 100% the rest of the way. Maybe I am being Mr. Negative. That's totally fine. But they're not winning a championship without him. William Yelly says he isn't returning to Ohio State. He's a top 10 pick this year, even with the injury concerns. So William, he believes he doesn't have to play another game this year and is still going to be a top 10 pick. Look, Jamar Chase for the Cincinnati Bengals. He opted out of his final season of college football before being taken number 5 overall by the Cincinnati Bengals. He didn't even play his final year in college football and was still taken number 5 overall. Now, I know that he opted out, but that's still a full season out of football that the Bengals still took a chance on him, and look how good he was that year. The injury, I think, is kind of what others are saying, William, as far as having an impact on teams maybe kind of shying away a bit. But I definitely understand where you're coming from, too. I still think that teams, right now in the moment, oh, man, I don't know about him. He's injury prone. He's injured. Then all of a sudden he'll get cleared by a doctor. He'll have a great performance. He'll run a fantastic 40 at the combine, and then he'll be right back at the top of everyone's draft board. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba will be fine. He'll be fine. This isn't about Jackson Smith-Njigba technically. Jackson Smith-Njigba will be fine. He'll be a top 10 pick. I agree, William. And he'll be making millions of dollars a year from now at this time. And, yeah, but Ohio State, if he's not playing on this team, if he's not playing the rest of this season, if he's not actively playing come college football playoff time, they're not winning a national championship. I'm not being negative. I'm being a realist. It's just the reality of it. Ohio State needs those weapons to win it all. We'll be right back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code IMPACT at checkout. That's harrys.com, code IMPACT. Enjoy.
Oktoberfest at Milano's has begun. We're serving our once-a-year favorites like schnitzel sandwiches and German pizza. Get it to go or stay for the games with NFL Sunday Ticket. See you at Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps for big screen football.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff in store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Keith Byers. QC Kinetics is a nation leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or a rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 937-936-0325. That's QC Kinetics. 937-936-0325.
The Western Ohio Homebuilders Association invites you to the Fall Parade of Homes, Saturday and Sunday, October 15th and 16th, from noon to 4 p.m. each day. Presented by Minster Bank, this free event will feature 10 beautifully designed homes for you to tour in Miami, Shelby, and Darke County. Visit our website to see 5 additional virtual home tours. Whether you're in the market to build your dream home or remodel the home you already love, you are sure to find it at the Fall Parade of Homes. Visit us at poh.westernohio.hba.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
How did hiring the right person become so difficult? Well, it doesn't have to be. Alpha Digital already has targeted databases built of very qualified candidates that are just looking for the right opportunity. That allows you to target exactly who you're trying to reach with a budget that is customized just for you. Learn about all the possibilities by going to alphamediadigital.com today. Find your next star employee with alphamediadigital.com.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Down the sideline to the 10. It drags a defender in the end zone for a touchdown. Jackson Smith-Njigba. A 50-yard scoring strike from C.J. Stroud. He'll hit the Purdue 40. Down the left side to the 30. Henderson to the 20, to the 10. And into the end zone goes Henderson.
Don't miss the Buckeyes all season long. Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio and on 92.9 Jack FM. Go Bucks.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is coming to the Buckeye State. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. Plus, when you sign up today using my promo code KINNER, KINNER, you'll be all set for when FanDuel goes live here in Ohio in early 2023. Then you can bet on all your favorite teams and all of your favorite sports with $100 in free bets. All you got to do, guys, is just download FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, it's secure, and super easy to use. Come on, Dayton. This is your chance to get in on the action. Join today with my promo code KINNER, KINNER. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Obviously, you can't place bets right now, but right now it's important that you download that FanDuel app, get your account set up, and you could either set it up and not use my code and just spend your own money when sports betting starts in January, or you could just use my promo code KINNER, KINNER, punch that right in there, and guess what? The second sports betting is launched here in the state of Ohio, you'll already have $100 waiting for you in your account. So make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. KINNER. Go use that promo code and get that app downloaded. Let's go.
Right in time for the NFL playoffs.
Exactly. Well, you can bet on the Browns the whole way through. Think of all the money I saved you for all you people who betted on the Bengals making the playoffs. So a couple things coming in. So Jeff McPherson says they can win a natty without Jackson Smith and Jigba. He was an afterthought until the Rose Bowl game. As long as both running backs are healthy and defense buttons up, they are fine at wide receiver. I think they're very, very good at wide receiver, but I don't think that they're going to win a national championship without Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm not putting my money on the Buckeyes to win it all if they don't have Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just not. This team was a championship favorite coming in because they had Marvin Harrison Jr., because they had Jackson Smith and Jigba, and because they had Trevion Henderson. Well, Trevion Henderson has not been the Trevion Henderson we expected. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. was also an afterthought, technically based on your standards heading into that Rose Bowl game. Both made all of us feel pretty good about the fact that, well, losing Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, that wouldn't have an impact on the Buckeyes at all. It hasn't, and the reason it hasn't is because Ohio State has not played the best teams in the country as of right now. I'm fine with Ohio State is head and shoulders better than the entire conference. They're winning the Big Ten. Kev, I just don't think they're winning a national championship without Jackson Smith and Jigba.
An afterthought before the Rose Bowl? He led the team in catches and receiving yards and receiving touchdowns before the performance in the Rose Bowl. So I'm not sure what games he was watching from last season. For the Buckeyes, more weapons, the merrier. The more weapons, the merrier. And because I've been saying it ad nauseum during the show and during the time that he's been out, is giving the other guys more reps and more opportunity to get that camaraderie and get the offense clicking without him, and he's going to be an additional weapon once he's fully healthy. But I don't know. I look at the defenses that Alabama has. I don't think their defense is as good as it's been. I don't think Georgia's defense is definitely not as good as it was last season. It's still very good. But if we had to play the Natty without him, I feel very comfortable still, even without him.
Comfortable's fine, but I wouldn't put money on Ohio State winning it all without him. And the other thing too is yes, we feel good because we're watching Ohio State beat up on a bunch of bad teams, and Alabama's defense not being as good as it has been in years past. It's still going to be head and shoulders better than any defense that Ohio State plays this year. So this coming up Saturday is going to be a good test as well. Now, again, Iowa's defense being propped up a lot. Iowa plays a lot of bummed offensive teams too. This is why I don't believe in college statistics. I think college defensive statistics is a joke because Ohio State, we're saying, man, look how much better their defense is this year. Who have they played that can challenge that defense for us to get a true indication of, oh man, they're elite? I think Ohio State's defense is drastically better than last year because bad teams pushed them around last year.
Right.
They're not pushing them around this year. That right there shows improvement, but improvement to what degree? Improvement to the level that, hey, we don't need to fear Alabama and fear Georgia and fear Clemson or, obviously Tennessee or teams along those lines. Hell, I mean, Utah, you run into Utah in the Rose Bowl again. Utah could potentially pass and run all over this defense, maybe. That's all I'm trying to say is I don't care about what the stats say defensively because that's why people buy into the SEC more. They have offenses that test those defenses that give you more of a true indication of how good those teams can be. The Big Ten is such a lull offensively. I have no clue who the hell Ohio State is defensively because who's challenging them? I think Maryland might be the best, and this is what you talked about. We don't fear Maryland, but I think that they are built better than any other Big Ten team to test Ohio State because of the pass offense that they have. No one else in the Big Ten possesses that. Penn State, maybe. They're supposed to, but I don't think even at the level of Maryland, and that's crazy to say.
Yeah, Penn State is more of a balanced team this year. I know they were supposed to be a high-flying passing team, but to their credit, they said, you know what, let's be balanced. We got two really good running backs. Let's not try to chuck the ball over the field. So I'm with that. I'm anxious to see Ohio State at full strength. And, this is football, so nobody is going to start the season or end the season the way they started it. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have people banged up. You're going to have people out for the season and everything like that. But I'm anxious to see Jackson Smith and Jigba get back on the field along with all the other weapons from the Buckeyes, to see them at full strength to put up, 70 burger, 80 burger, 90 burger.
William asked a good question. If Ohio State put in the SEC, how many games would they lose a year?
SEC West or East?
I think that matters too. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, either way, you're playing Georgia every year. You're playing Alabama every year. Either way. But, obviously it's Alabama. I think it matters to your
0.5.
Look, the Big Ten is just not good. I know they have 3 teams or 4 teams in the top 25. Illinois, they're a feel-good story. They're way better than they were a year ago. I get their top 25. Okay, that's fine. Michigan, whatever. I'm not fearing Michigan. Obviously, Penn State coming up. We'll get a good idea of really who both Michigan and Penn State are this weekend against one another. That's why I like as the season goes on, we get a better true indication as far as that goes. Obviously, I think they'd be more vulnerable in the SEC than in the Big Ten. That doesn't mean I think they would lose every year. I think that they're on par with Alabama, to be quite honest with you. But Alabama's won I think 1 or 2 national titles, recently. So
around like 8 or
that's all that matters.
8 or so.
Guess what I got back?
What's up? Oh no.
Check.
Oh, no.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. It works. It's the Shaw mic, by the way. And give us a call, 518-1410, 518-1410 if you want to give us a call.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. But it's charged. It's ready to go. The Shaw mic is back. It used to be called the hater mic, but this thing is just broken out for our good friend, Mr. Shaw. But 518-1410. 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation, and we'll take your calls coming up here in just a few moments. But all right, we're off and rolling. So David Shaw says, Kev, Ohio State can beat Alabama or any of the other teams in the college football playoff without Jackson Smith and Jigba. They are taking the top off these offenses already. You have the tight ends playing the intermediate routes that Jackson Smith and Jigba did. Of course, the Buckeyes want him, but the Buckeyes do not need him to win the national championship. And you know how big a Buckeye fan Mr. Shaw is. Look, there's going to be a lot more people. As crazy as this sounds, everyone is going to agree with Shaw because we all want to believe that Ohio State's perfect and has no flaws. All I'm saying is they are so good that they can win the Big Ten without him. I just don't think they can win a national title without him. And you're saying that they're taking the tops off of these defenses. They're blowing out bad teams. That's what they should be doing, Shaw. Not bragging about winning by 21 points against an Indiana team. No, that's what they're supposed to do. I want Jackson Smith and Jigba back. That's the only way I'm going to feel comfortable about Ohio State winning a national championship. And by the way, they're good enough to compete with these teams without him. I get that. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, Mayan Williams, and Trevion Henderson, they are your national champions. And I'm not wavering from that. But I am wavering from it if they don't have Jackson Smith and Jigba. So there you go. And then this is why the mic is good.
Oh, gosh.
Shaw says, I'm not calling with you having that stupid thing. This thing is a magical. This is magical right here. This is magical. So I'm going to put it away. We're done with it. We're done. Let me make sure it turns off. Oh, there we go. It's off. All right. 518-1410. Kev, who's up?
Don't be surprised if the battery's dead tomorrow. We got Ryan on line 1.
What up, Ryan? How are you? Welcome, sir.
Gentlemen, thank you. It's good to talk to you again. Listen, I got 2 things real quick.
Yep.
Number one, I called before. Now I'm a little off topic. You were talking about Wright State and UD and how those 2 teams, in basketball match up. And I called to tell you that Wright State, they recruit to the Horizon League. UD recruits to the A10. Anyone that calls and says Ohio State couldn't play in the SEC is out of their mind because, number one, if you had Ryan Day coaching Ohio State in the SEC, they would be getting SEC caliber talent. So I think it's Ryan Day's offense along with his defense that makes Ohio State as great as they are in the Big Ten. They recruit to the Big Ten. They recruit nationally. They are getting better recruits than everyone else. That's why they're always in the talk about the college playoff. But if they were in the SEC, make no mistake, they would be recruiting against Nick Saban for all the number 5s. They would be recruiting.
I think they already are, Ryan. Don't you? I think Ohio State and Alabama are in a tier all by themselves, along with Georgia as of late. So I know. Yeah.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. But I think as good as they are right now, being in the Big Ten, I think if you put them in the SEC in that Southern League, I think it blows. I think Ohio State would be the next Nick Saban. There's no doubt Nick Saban and Alabama he is the best coach ever in college football. There's no doubt. But I think with what Ryan Day does, if he were getting SEC caliber players at every position, I don't think, if he were having those Alabama linebackers and those Alabama defensive linemen to go along with the Ohio State, offense, it'd be insane how many games they'd win, how many championships.
Well, I just think that's a
compete for.
deficiency within Ryan Day's recruiting, by the way, because he has recruiting strengths that Urban Meyer didn't have, but Urban Meyer had the defensive recruiting strengths that Ryan Day doesn't have. I mean, Ohio State was getting those guys when he was here, but Ryan Day's getting the offensive guys that Urban wasn't getting, just in just their philosophy on their recruiting or whatever. I mean, I don't think they're not getting those guys because they're in the Big Ten. I just think that's a deficiency within Ryan Day's recruiting. They kill it on offense and they do very, very good on defense. But Ohio State's taken such a massive step back defensively since Ryan Day's taken over. That's not a shot at him. That's just the reality of it. But they've also taken a major step forward offensively from Urban Meyer. I don't think one coach is better or worse than the other. I just think his strength in recruiting is obviously on the offensive side, and Urban's was on the defense with the solid offense as well. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think they're not getting these guys because they're not in the SEC.
Well, again, no, I was just saying that you had one of your messages was that if Ohio State played in the SEC, how many games would they lose? And I really do think it would be a different roster if they were in the SEC. That's really kind of where I was on that.
That's fair.
But I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you about the Ryan Day and Urban Meyer. The difference is I'm hoping that Jim Knowles coming along will sort of change the way they recruit defense now and make it a more balanced team.
No, that's fair.
So,
right. Anything else? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and listen, I don't know. I listen enough. I don't know where your heart lies. I'm an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
I think this is probably one of the best Ohio State teams with or without Jackson Smith and Jig, but just because of the defense, the offense is always going to be stellar. I think this is really the year because Alabama and Georgia don't look like the world beaters they always are. I think this is the year that Ohio State wins it pretty easily.
And I hope you're right. Kev's been calling it since the beginning of the season. I said I need to see it to believe it first with the defense. The defense looks massively improved from one year to the next, but I'm always one of those like cautiously optimistic people where I'm like, consider the opponents. No, they are drastically better than a year ago defensively, but is it enough? Bottom line is, even if it's not enough, those defenses for Alabama and others, they need to be good enough to stop Ohio State's offense. So that's what they're fearing over on their sports radio networks too. So yeah, there's no perfect team. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Love it. Hey, listen, thanks for the time, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Take care, Ryan. 518-1410. I don't know. Like, I understand what Ryan's trying to say, that if Ohio State was an SEC team that their recruiting would drastically change. I don't think it would. I think Ohio State, the one thing Urban Meyer did when he took over at Ohio State, Kev, was he showed that, hey, stop recruiting to win the Big Ten and recruit to win a national championship. That was one of the biggest transition. I mean, it wasn't just the Ohio State philosophy that changed. It elevated the entire Big Ten's approach. So that's kind of where I'm at. But, I don't think that Ohio State's only getting offensive players and no defensive players, which, by the way, they're getting great defensive players too. But Urban just had a better eye for some of these guys, or developed them better, I guess, if that's how you want to put it. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like Ryan Day has been, since Ryan Day's taken over, the only flaw that he has is that he has the defense has taken a massive step back since he's taken over. But it's also taken a massive step forward offensively since taking over for Urban Meyer. So it's not a shot at Ryan Day or at Urban. It's just the differences in how they approach recruiting.
Absolutely. Ohio State recruits national. They go down to Florida, they go to Texas, they go to California, they go to Seattle, Washington, they go wherever the talent is. And that's where they recruit. So this whole theory about, if they had SEC players, they would be that much better. No, it's not. That's not how this thing works. Just like Alabama recruits nationally. They recruit where the talent is. It's not like, okay, Ole Miss or Mississippi State, oh man, they got SEC talent, they're better than Ohio State. No, if they played Ohio State, 9 times out of 10, Ohio State's gonna beat them. It's those programs. It's the Bamas and the LSUs that have the talent because they're national programs. And Ohio State is a national program. So if they did play in the SEC, yes, SEC is much tougher than the Big Ten, definitely this year. So yeah, they would suffer a loss here or there, but to think like Ohio State to just drop into the big bad SEC and they'll be taking 3 and 4 losses and they're turning into Vanderbilt or something like that, I think that's laughable.
Laughable. Almost as laughable as Kev's definition of a trap game. We'll be right back. 518-1410.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. WYNG 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me. Did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
It's time for Frickin' Football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a Frickin' Chicken Taco, Grilled Chicken Taco, or Mississippi Barbecue Taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc. can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc. Powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
What did 9 out of 10 people who died from COVID have in common?
They were 50 or older.
And if you have a condition like heart disease or diabetes, your risk is even higher.
COVID vaccines lower the risk of death.
Get your updated vaccine now. It could save your life.
We can do this. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Hi, I'm Coach Jim Place, and I'm proud to support Tony Shane for Montgomery County Common Pleas Court Judge. I've known Tony and his wife Annie for a long time. Something that makes Tony and the great Annie so special is they are a team. They truly care about the citizens of Montgomery County. They were born here, they're raising their family here, and the citizens of Montgomery County are something they care very deeply about. That's why on November 8th, I'm voting for Tony Shane for Montgomery County Common Pleas Court Judge.
Paid for by citizens to elect Shane.
It's time for frickin' football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a frickin' chicken taco, grilled chicken taco, or Mississippi barbecue taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Do you enjoy sports betting and fantasy sports? If so, it's important to know that gambling's not a way to pay bills or earn income. Learn how to set limits and recognize the warning signs for problem gambling by visiting beforeyoubet.org. You can also assess your risk by taking the responsible gambling quiz. Beforeyoubet.org provides free resources to help keep gambling safe and fun for Ohioans. Be a fan with a plan this season and go to beforeyoubet.org to learn more.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Kev, earlier in the week, it was announced that obviously Flying to the Hoop. There's no doubt that they were coming back for another season, but the lineup for Flying to the Hoop, the high school basketball showcase, the nation's #2 high school basketball showcase in the country, which of course takes place every year here in Kettering at Trent Arena, coming back once again. The 2023 Flying to the Hoop High School Basketball Invitational. The lineup has been released. 35 teams, 19 games, all in 4 days, Kev. It's the Beacon Orthopedics Flying to the Hoop High School Basketball Invitational. It's back once again. They just released their star-studded lineup. The top nationally ranked high school basketball event will take place over Martin Luther King weekend, January 13th through the 16th at Trent Arena in Kettering. They tweeted out earlier in the week, 5 defending state champions, 6 preseason top national teams, 30-plus 4- and 5-stars, all playing January 13th through the 16th. It's definitely it's an event unlike any other in the Miami Valley's. We're fortunate to have that. So Eric and his team do a fantastic job with that.
Huge event. And think about some of the talent that's played in there. LaMelo Ball played in there. Yep. We talk about how you got to meet his dad and everything like that.
Flip that switch. The camera went on.
Totally different guy. J.R. Smith played in this thing. Like J.R. Smith from the champion Cleveland Cavaliers. His career had peaks and valleys from playing with the Denver Nuggets to the New York Knicks to playing in China, then playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers, winning the championship. So it's like, high caliber players that played in this Flying to the Hoop. And, you know, they opened up to the girls teams as well. It's jam-packed, tons of local teams in there. So it's not just, you know, the big time schools from out of state that are coming. It's our local teams playing in it as well. It's awesome. I mean, it's MLK weekend. There's a lot of good vibes in there. Frickers is out there, fun and games. It's a blast, man.
Absolutely. So the number one player in the nation, a Michigan State commit, he'll be there. 6 of the top 25 national teams will be participating in this event. 5 defending state champions are playing, including Kev, the state champion from Ohio versus state champion from Indiana. There's 30 plus 4 and 5-star ranked players participating, as we talked about, plus teams from North Carolina, West Virginia, Georgia, Arizona, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, California, and Finland. Yes.
Like Finland,
not Finley.
Finley up the street.
Not Finley.
Okay.
Finland and up the street. That's a 3-hour drive up the street. But right now I'm about to tweet out the link. Actually, you could head to wingam.com. Obviously, you know, the Flying to the Hoop website, of course. But we have all the information at wingam.com where you can get tickets. General admission and limited reserve seating is now available. Again, those usually get swooped up pretty quick. So get your tickets. That's always a fun weekend right there, an extended weekend, the holiday weekend, but really neat. Derek Horseman and company, they do a fantastic job with that. So really looking forward to that. Some of those teams we talked about, Kev. And if you want to take a look at the schedule, again, we put all that up at wingam.com. Really looking forward to that. So again, on January 13th, the Friday night games, Kev, Keystone Academy against Omni Academy out of Finland. So you'll get to see that Finland team right off the bat, and then Combine Academy against Arizona Compass Prep. So those are your 2 games on that Friday night. But yeah, the girls game, Beaver Creek against Springboro. And then Dunbar will be taking on Pinkerton North. Afrocentric against Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. A lot of good. Chaminade Julienne going to close out. They're going to close out Saturday against Pace Academy. So I always love watching the Ohio, or not just Ohio, but our local teams from around here get a chance to play some of these bigger teams. That's pretty cool as well. Garfield Heights against Wayne. I'm really looking forward to that. Is he still? Who's the coach?
Sonny.
Garfield. Sonny. Is he still coaching up there? All right, cool. Skills Factory against Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
Nice.
That's pretty neat, too. So St. Ignatius against Huntington Prep. And then Centerville going to be taking on SoCal Academy.
Woo.
How about that?
Get your popcorn ready. You know, the thing that I love about this is because you get a chance to see talent that could potentially be in the NBA. So listen to this. DeAndre Ayton, Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Davis. They have all played in Flying to the Hoop. I mean, like, that's like the elite of the elite guys in the NBA, world champions. Jonathan Kuminga plays for the Warriors now. And I mean, Huntington Prep, it seems like they are from Ohio by now, as much as they played in Flying to the Hoop.
So who was the NBA Rookie of the Year last year, by the way? Was it
Cade? Was it Cade Cunningham?
Or was that the year before that? Was it Melo?
Yes.
So Melo, not even 3 years ago, we watched Melo at Trent Arena have one of the worst games I've ever seen that kid play. I mean, that team, what's the dang prep team that they play? Spire. We see them all the time. Spire played garbage. They got beat by 30. I mean, they got absolutely trounced. And Melo Ball played absolutely horrible. And then he goes on, and he's probably the best ball of the ball. Again, everyone thought that, the other brother was Zoe, that Lonzo was going to be the best one. He's not terrible, by the way, but Melo's the real deal. And we watched him just a few years ago, and he looked like a little kid. He was just I've never seen someone with the glow up like that quicker than him. But he's a little bum ankle right now.
Look at you using all the hit words, glow up and everything like that.
What?
Kinder's cool. Kinder's cool with his new haircut.
I've taught you,
And I got to correct myself. It was Scotty Barnes that won Rookie of the Year last year from the Raptors.
So,
cool guy, Kenner.
People, they strive to be me.
Got the beard growing out. I see you,
the
dog.
beard is coming in nice. I'm excited about the beard. Trying something new.
You giving Hooper a run for his money?
I can't do the Hooper beard.
I can't grow a beard at all.
All right, A10 Media Days today. We'll talk about some of the Dayton Flyers that are already getting some preseason recognition, including the Dayton Flyers, who were tabbed the preseason A10 favorites to the surprise of nobody. We'll be right back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be partly cloudy, a high near 60. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers, a low near 38. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Oktoberfest at Milano's has begun. We're serving our once-a-year favorites like schnitzel sandwiches and German pizza. Get it to go or stay for the games with NFL Sunday Ticket. See you at Milano's Pizza, Subs, and Taps for big screen football.
What did 9 out of 10 people who died from COVID have in common?
They were 50 or older.
And if you have a condition like heart disease or diabetes, your risk is even higher.
COVID vaccines lower the risk of death.
Get your updated vaccine now. It could save your life.
We can do this. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Need to visit the Ohio BMV? Go online first. It could save you a trip. It's now easier and more convenient than ever to get what you need from the BMV online. Need to renew your driver's license? Renew online. And if you need to renew your vehicle registration, visit one of our new BMV Express kiosks or go online. If you do need to visit a BMV agency, use the Get in Line online tool, also found on the website, to save your spot and minimize your time waiting. For more services available online, check out bmv.ohio.gov.
Fall into a new career. KTH Parts Industries has immediate openings, second shift production associates, and equipment technicians. Material handling experience is a plus. This is an excellent new opportunity that offers an attractive benefit package, medical, dental, 401k, attendance bonus, and a competitive wage, starting at $19.75 per hour with annual increases. KTH is hosting open interviews Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Visit kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Kev Nash, the A10 Media Days today was in Brooklyn. BK. The preseason poll is out. The Dayton Flyers, 22 first-place votes. Again, they are your 2022 preseason favorites, or 2022-2023 preseason favorites, to the surprise of nobody. DaRon Holmes for the Dayton Flyers was the only Flyer to get preseason all-conference first-team honors, of course, to the surprise of no one there. DaRon, too, he looks like he put on a little meat. He looks a lot bigger. He doesn't have that little boy body from last year. He has a man's body now. I think he's going to – I'm jacked to see the improvement from not just him, but obviously Tumani Kamara, a big transfer that they got from last season, of course. But Malachi Smith and Tumani Kamara, both junior and sophomore year for Malachi Smith, their preseason all-conference second team. So that's pretty exciting. And then Malachi Smith and DaRon Holmes both named to the preseason all-defensive team as well. So a lot of big expectations in the preseason for the Flyers. Obviously, when top 25 comes out right off the bat. That's the thing, though. Historically, this has been a team that they don't start out ranked. They play with that chip on their shoulder, and then they go on this huge run, and then they get that. but that 2020 team, they never stumbled. Like that was an Archie Miller type of thing where Archie Miller's teams played better with the chip on their shoulder, to where the one thing I'll say about Anthony Grant teams is that when they have that ranking, like they play up to that. Like I'll give Anthony Grant's teams that. The problem is when Anthony Grant teams when they don't, just the late game situations. I just don't think that we're going to be talking a lot about that this year. This team is drastically different than last year. They lost those 3 bye games early in the year. They win one of those 3 bye games that they lost in November last season. In early December, they were in the NCAA tournament last year. I think they were like the first team out when it was all said and done or something along those lines. It was a tough pill to swallow, but you can't lose 3 bye games at home.
Yeah,
you should never lose 1 bye game, but nonetheless, that's where we're at. But I think that's pretty exciting. That's going to be a fun season for them coming up. Wright State's going to be really good this year out of the Horizon League, another local team that has a lot of expectations too. If you're a college basketball fan, there's no better city to live in than this one right here.
Expectations high for both teams. One thing about the UD Flyers, them losing those quote unquote bye games last year, super young team, and now you have more experience. My question for you is, you would know better than me because you go to way more games than I do. Outside shooting, do the Flyers have that this year?
They didn't have a lot of outside shooting last year. They have a ton of athleticism. Obviously, they have a lot of slashers, a lot of scorers.
Right.
But guys are going to have to step up and make some shots around. I can't wait to see that Sheriff kid because I got to watch him at the Top Gun showcase. And he's the Mongolian Mike is what they call him. But my goodness, the kid can play. And he can shoot. I don't know. I mean, I saw him shoot the ball well in some of those games, but is he a reliable shooter? He's going to be most likely coming off the bench. But man, that kid he could pass, he could slash, he could take you one-on-one. I watch it. He's just a very unique player. You don't see a lot of players built like him. So I'm really jacked to see what he does because he has quite the following and a lot of expectations. They're going to have depth at that point guard position. He could play the point, but he could also stretch it out too. He's who I'm really excited to see play. And then Malachi, last year, it's not that I didn't have expectations from coming in. I thought that we were buying too much into he's Scoochie's brother. Relax. Let's let him make a name for himself. And then the kid's a pit bull, man. He doesn't stop. He has this personality or this persona on the court that the crowd just feeds off it. His teammates feed off it. I'm excited. They're going to have a great year.
It's going to be a huge year. Think about it like this. UD Arena, another year removed, quote unquote, from COVID. High expectations. That place is going to be rocking all season long.
No, I mean, it was even rocking last year when they lost to those 3 bye games. That play. No, what I mean by it sounds typical kid. No, what I mean expectations are not. That's what's crazy about that damn place. 13,000 expectations are not living up to expectations are not living up to expectations are not. Like Browns fans, they're not like Bengals fans. Bengals fans only show up when their team wins. Browns fans, they're always there. What? It's true.
This is true.
You can't get mad at true statements. Like a trap game.
Oh, goodness.
But an opinion is a fact. We'll be right back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds. Browse over 40 hot tubs from 5 major brands at up to 50% off. Financing is available and show admission is free. That's this weekend at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds in Dayton. Visit hottuboh.com.
Give your sweetie the priceless gold box this year for Sweetest Day. Or get a special pack box of those favorite pieces. Don't wait until the last minute. Come and visit us at any of our 7 locations. Shop online at EstherPrice.com or call us to place an order. It only takes a minute to make that special someone smile when they see their gold box of their favorites. So don't forget and place your order today.
The homemade goodness everyone likes. Life's a whole lot sweeter with fine chocolates from Esther Price.
Hey,
Buckeye fans, as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, Roosters is giving away 12 trips for two to this year's Buckeye Bowl game. Each trip comes complete with airfare, hotel, gift bag, and 2 tickets to the big game. One bowl prize winner chosen each week, along with other cool Roosters weekly prizes. So register every week at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Official contest rules at roosterswings.com.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda, Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is in shape for the season with the experts and community trusted service that you can rely on. From William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning, we're offering exclusive savings opportunities on the new Linux system. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today, or visit us online at DaytonHeatingandCooling.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Ohio license number 14911.
Urology Specialists of Ohio are here for you. Men, your good health is important to them. Their knowledge of specific male anatomy, prostate issues, and how to help in your healing is their main focus. Urology Specialists of Ohio are now accepting new patients at all locations: Beaver Creek, Springfield, Urbana, Xenia, and London. They have been in practice for over 20 years with over 80 years of experience between 5 physicians. Call today. They can schedule your appointment in a timely manner with little wait time. Online at urologyspecialistofohio.com.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff and store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
So Jay Morrison, who's been on the show before, he covers the Cincinnati Bengals for The Athletic. He does a cool podcast along with Paul Dehner Jr. Both of those guys do a fantastic job covering the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a podcast out, and within the podcast, they were talking about the struggles of the Bengals early on. We're transitioning